dear fun. So thank you so much for taking time to chat about the banks and distressed properties, etc. I know you're a certified distressed property advisor. So tell us, help us out. Tell us more and let's share some advice and insights to the clients.
No problem. It's great to see you again. Well, the basic idea with being a certified distressed property advisor is that you assist your client who is in distress. And generally how you define that is if a client is in a position where over a 3-month period, they haven't been able to repay their bond. Mm-hmm. That's your first clue that you are now in distress and you need assistance, and that's where the CDPA comes in. But obviously now with the COVID-19 pandemic, yes, things are a bit different. So yes, there are a couple of options that you have before you reach that point. The major thing, even if you have a distressed property or you before that stage, is to be in communication with your bondholder, whichever bank that may be.
Absolutely. The worst thing that you can do now is to do nothing. You have to be in communication with him. You have to apply for either a payment holiday or join the distressed property program.
That's right. And some of the banks offer different solutions for you during this period. I know, for example, one of the banks, they offer you a full loan, a loan amount for the actual outstanding monies that you have at this stage. And it's repayable over a 60-month period at prime interest rate, and you can settle it without any penalties. Some of the other banks actually offer you a full holiday period. So they'll give you 3 months where you don't need to make any payments, and then they make an arrangement with you to add that 3 months at the end of your actual home loan period. So that is actually also quite a nice thing to do.
It's nice of them to help the clients like this. I mean, we're in really difficult and different times. It's unknown. So I'm really grateful for the banks that they did that. But if they can't do that, and saying that, people should remember that they have to be in good standing with the bank before they apply for anything, because if they're not in good standing, if they wait, as we said, if they do nothing, if they wait, they will fall behind on payments, and the banks will refuse the help.
That's correct. Yes. People also need to keep in mind the banks are also in a difficult position as it is at this stage. But if you are a client, for example, that even before the lockdown started, you were maybe a month or 2 months behind on your repayment, now is also a perfect time to approach one of your trusted agents, especially an agent that you know is a CDPA, a Certified Distressed Property Advisor, because those agents are actually on the panels for the 4 major banks. So they help out the banks in this process. Now, there are 4 programs. Each bank has its own program and its own criteria and how that works.
Okay. Walk us through that, please. Let's give them an idea how it works and what happens.
So the first thing to do, like I said, contact your agent, who is a CDPA.
A CDPA Remax agent. Add that, because you actually went on training for this. You didn't just decide one day that you want to be a CDPA agent. You did the training, and you are on the bank's panel. So you are a professional in the area.
That's right. And one of the fantastic things with Remax being the #1 real estate brand in the world, they were able as a collective to approach banks and say, look, we understand. I think it started with the 2008 financial crisis. And they said, look, we can assist you. We've got agents that have very high quality in training, and they can help you in this process. And so in South Africa, the exact same thing happened. And you have to do a course and qualify to become a distressed property advisor. So you are trained in each program that each bank offers you,
Yes.
and how to work with the clients, what the bank's requirements are, and how to assist in getting buyers, the whole process. So that CDPA qualification isn't just an addition, it's actually something you have to work for.
Yes, and it's important, especially during these days.
Correct.
So
Correct.
let's say just a couple of pointers for each bank. What will happen? Let's say you're behind, I contact you and I'm behind on my loan, or I feel that I can't pay my loan this month.
Yeah.
I didn't get I can't get the payment holiday. What will be the next step for you as my agent?
So the next step would be to identify what bank you have a loan with. So ABSA, for example, they have the Help You Sell program.
Okay.
NetBank has the FNB, has the Quick Sell program.
Okay.
Standard Bank has the Easy Sell program, and NetBank has the Assisted Sales program.
Okay.
So depending on which bank it is, the agent, the CDPA agent, will then approach that bank, and they will provide the details with the bond number, the identity numbers, and the full names for the owners of that property. And they will explain to them that this is the situation. We are now in a position where the owners of this property are in distress. So we need to sign up to your individual program.
Okay. And as far as I know, the sooner you do that, the better, because you get a discount on your shortfall if the property sells.
Correct. For example, ABSA's Help You Sell program, if you are between 0 and 3 months behind on your monthly repayments, they will actually offer you a 50% discount on any amount that is still outstanding after the property is sold. The majority of the banks actually offered that. I think Standard Bank only offers a 10% discount, but the earlier you are in informing them, the more lenient they will be in terms of negotiating a lower discount, an even higher discount, as it were.
I understand. Okay. So it's best to just get in touch with one of the CPDA Remax agents and let them sort it out. And this can be done online, working remotely.
This can be done on. Yes.
So we can.
So all the documents needed can be done electronically and sent through to the bank that way. NetBank, for example, the lovely thing is you are in control as the owner of the property. So you need to understand that this will be a voluntary process.
Okay.
For each one of the banks.
It's nothing like debt rescue or one of those things
Correct.
that you have to go on. This is a specific program focused on your house, and you as owner remain in control.
In control of the process. The idea is that it will cost you more in the end if it's an involuntary process. So where the bank has to repossess the bank, auction it off, and all these kinds of things. There are implications on your credit record and all of that.
That's the problem. Yes, you sit with a judgment against your name, where if you do this, you won't have that problem.
Correct. And if you do the process voluntarily, it helps the bank as well at the end of the day. And because what people need to keep in mind, the banks don't want to own properties. They really don't want to own property.
Yes.
So they don't want to take the property back and sell it at the lowest price. They really want to avoid that. The bank actually wants their investment back as much of that investment as possible. And the banks have actually found that the best way to do that is to get an estate agent involved, because the estate agent will most likely have the best knowledge of the area, will have the best knowledge in terms of what the property can sell for and how to move forward and to actually recoup that debt, so that the banks is not exposed on that money anymore.
Absolutely.
And that's important to keep in mind as well.
Yes, and I mean the estate agents has got a database of buyers
Correct.
who they can sell it to as well. Another plus
Yep.
point. So
that's right.
yes.
And the banks are actually fantastic what that's concerned. So they don't just want to help you as the owner of the property to sell, they actually want to help your buyers as well.
Yes.
So they want a buyer who comes and looks at that property, whichever bank it is, they're willing to offer 100% bond to that buyer if they qualify.
Because they're part of
the
program. That's amazing.
Correct.
Because they're part of the program, they help the buyer actually to purchase that property as well with 100% bond. That's great. That's really.
That's right.
I think very little people realize that or know that.
That's right. Yeah, I don't think many people are aware of that. And to top it off, banks like FNB and Standard Bank, ABSA and Nedbank, so all four major banks, on their programs, they will offer the buyer a 50% discount on the transfer fees.
Wonderful.
And some of the banks also will offer that on the registration side as well. Not on the transfer duty, but on the transfer fees and on the registration cost. And that is another fantastic benefit for the buyer over there. So a buyer is enticed to actually look at these properties and to buy them. And the big benefit is that you as the seller end up with a clean credit record. You end up in a position where you can now, in your current financial situation, look at a rental contract, or even better, you can look at a downscale.
Yes.
And you can still qualify for a bond.
Absolutely. So it's a win-win all the way.
All the way, yeah. But as we started this conversation, the major thing that we all had to keep in mind was that you have to start early.
Yes.
The moment you can see or predict that within the next 3 months I won't be able to make my payments is the time that you start to talk to a REMAX certified distressed property advisor.
Absolutely.
They will assist you in starting this process, and you can then be in a better position to sell your property and be relieved in terms of what the implications could be later on.
Yes. Well, I think that gives us quite a nice overview of what is there to be done and the urgency of the matter. Well, I think let's share this with our clients and help them, and let's get through this crisis the best possible way.
Yes, that's right. And the last thing I just want to mention is any seller out there who feels, because this is something that it hits close to home because it is your home.
Absolutely.
So sellers sometimes feel embarrassed and they don't want people to know about this. You need to know that as a CDPA, my number one concern is your confidentiality.
Absolutely, yes.
No one will know what your financial position is. This is not something that will be shared. Even on the advertising that we use, we are not going to say your property distress. It will be done as if your property is a normal property that's being sold like anybody else's property. And that is important.
It's important to know, and they should know that as well, because as you said, it's very close to home, and we respect that, and we will handle it in the correct fashion.
That's right.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and appreciate your time and your insights and advice.
It's a huge pleasure. I look forward to the next bit of information that we can share with our clients and with all our friends and colleagues out there, so that they know REMAX agents are the agents to talk to.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stefan.
Thanks, Cindy.
Bye.
Bye.